Good morning. It's Friday, May 30th, and it's going to rain heavy tonight, but I got today to work during the day. And what I'm doing is this is the Eastern Red Cedar that I fire hardened yesterday. And the one limb is a little bit more than a half inch, and this one's a little wider. So I have a center mark here, and I put a center mark on the end that's the half inch. And I just ran a chalk line. I'm not snapping the chalk line, I'm just running a line, and it's hanging here, and I got my half-inch mark on the other end. And the bow still will favor one side. I'm not making it perfect. It's in line with the center here, and the center there, and the center here. So I'm going to take it down so it's even. And what I decided to do is, since we peeled the back off of the bow, a pristine back, do is attempt to till this without any backing on it. So we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, I'm going to take this down so the ends are just equally wide. There'll be half-inch on each end. And then we're going to put string grooves in and start the tillering process. We're going to begin tillering this Eastern Red Cedar Juniper that's been fire hardened. And we're using the pristine natural back. We peeled the cambium off because it's that time of year where the sap flows and the buds are out, and you're able to, once you remove the bark and you can kind of see where the knots are, you're able to peel the cambium off like a skin on a banana. So we have tillering marks here at the fade outs, an inch from the groove approximately, and the midpoint. And what we're going to do is we're going to start bending it slowly using a yardstick. We're going to come just below level, and we're hoping it don't break. Eastern Red Cedar is very weak in tension. A lot of people back it with rawhide or especially sinew. But to sinew the back of this bow would be a couple $100. And I looked at the back, and the back's a really nice back, and I'm going to give it a shot. I'm seeing how far I can get it down, and hopefully it won't break, and I can make a bow at 66 inches, and we'll see how many pounds we can get. The weight isn't that important. It's more important that I get this bow to bend and without too much stress and make a bow. All right, the chances are against me because of the type of wood, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, we're going to start the tillering process. It's got a tiny little bit of back set from the fire hardening, and we're going to pull it down a little bit. And I can feel there's a lot of weight here. I'm going to have to reduce some weight. Let's just see how the bend is. So we put this yardstick with the numbers away so it's not distracting. And we're going to check out the bend. And believe it or not, we have a pretty good bend here. It's bending a little more here. It's a little flat spot on this side and here. And over here needs to be a little bit more of a bend, okay? Let's see over here. This side has a perfect bend, pretty perfect. I'm going to leave this side alone, and I'm going to work on this side. And I'm going to reduce, once I get that side and I reduce the flat spots a little bit, I'm going to reduce some weight because it feels very heavy. And we're not going for a heavyweight bow. We're going for a bow that flexes and don't break. I took some material off here, and then I took off 40 strokes here and 35 strokes there on the belt sander. It's kind of a worn belt. And let's see what kind of bend we have. Okay, the bend is much better. A little bit more on the outer we need. We need a little bit more here on the outer. Just a little bit more. Okay, let's see again. Let's see what kind of bend we got over here. Okay, we still got a fairly nice bend here. And there's just a little bit, let me just see here, a little bit from here to here. Okay, remember we want this to bend the full length from the fade out. You got to be careful you don't create a hinge, but we want this to bend. No really hard bends anywhere. We want a nice smooth transition throughout the limb this time with this type of soft wood. Just want to remind you, every time I remove wood, when I'm sanding, I put this mask on. So let's check out the bend now. Okay, we finally got that nice bend. I got the outer bending. I got a nice mirror image going on there. We got a nice bend going on here. We're going to see, it looks like a little bit more on this limb still. We're going to check it. That's why we have the center mark. We're going to check from here to here. And we got 5/8. Let's check it out from here to here. And we have 3/8. So this limb has to bend a lot more. So we want this to bend equal before we pull it down. We don't want to stress this limb on this soft wood. So I'm going to remove a few more strokes on this limb to try and get it to bend as much as that limb. And then we'll be back. I took off 20 strokes to get it to bend a little more. Let's see what we got. Got a 1/2 inch here. And we got a 1/2 inch here. Let's go down another inch. See how it feels as far as the weight goes. Okay, I'm looking at the bend. We got a really nice bend going on. There's nothing that jumps out. Every time that I remove material on this soft wood, I take sandpaper and I round the edges. Okay? And look, we still have that nice bend. We're going to go down another inch. And I'm going to feel the weight. I don't want to go too heavy because I don't want to stress the back of the bow. Okay, I'm going to have to reduce some weight because I can feel the tension here. Okay, look at that bend. Look at that beautiful bend we got. I don't know if this wood will hold up, but we're sure doing our best to make it an even bend. Look, we got a beautiful bend going on. This is where we have to be to have a string on. We got quite a ways to go, and it's still a lot of weight. And where we are here is like at that 22-inch mark, and I'm going to get the scale and just see how many pounds it is. Okay, let's see what we got at that 22-inch mark, that reference point. We got 37 pounds, okay? And we're nowhere near ready to have a string put on. So I'm going to reduce a lot of weight and come back. I want this bow to work. I'm going to take my time, and hopefully we'll get it with this pristine back, this beautiful back of the bow, because we peeled off that cambium and it looks pretty nice. I'm showing you now in case it breaks and I don't get the opportunity to show you. All right, I'm going to remove some weight. Since the last video, I went back twice because I lost count. I probably took off, besides the initial 20, I probably took off like 70 strokes on both sides. Now you could tell just by looking at this, right, that this is a more even bend and this is a abrupt bend with flat spots here and here. But when you put the yardstick up, and you look at it, you could clearly see exactly where, like from here it starts. From here down to here needs to bend. Okay, so this needs to bend more here. Okay, and then we're going to look over here. And though we have what I would call a perfect bend, it's not bending as much as over here. So we're going to reduce the flat spot here. And there's a flat spot in here. Okay, and this is going to bend a lot more. And then in here, let's just look. We got to get it to bend a little more in here. And overall. So this side needs probably another 20 strokes after I adjust that side. I had it down lower with the loose string, but I took off so much material that had a little excess bending here and there. So now we're back to a little bend. We're starting kind of over with the micro tillering. We went down a little bit here, and we're going to see what we got and how the bend looks. And we're going to proceed with the micro tillering once again, now that I made some corrections. Okay, and as we look at this here, we got a fairly nice bend. And that fairly nice bend is 1 1/8 of an inch. And let's see what we got over here. We almost have an inch, so we're going to work on this one again. Okay, and I think a little bit more out of here. Maybe just a little bit more out of here. Let me just check this one again. After I get the other limb bending more, I'll work on the inner a little bit. Okay, I took a bunch of material off of here. I took a little bit off the inner here. We got a little bit of a flat spot here. Let's see what we got though for the depth. We got 1 5/8 here, and the outer's a little stiff. We got 1 1/8 here, so we got to reduce more material. This limb has to bend more. So let's look at it, see where we see the flat spots. Okay, let's see. You can see the flat spots from here with the yardstick. We want to get this outer bending from here. Okay, and we want to get the inner bending a little bit from here, and then a few strokes overall. Let's just check this out one more time, because we're going to get the outer bending on this one a little bit too. So I would say from here to here, we got to get this outer bending a little bit more. And it's just a reference. This is a loose string. We're kind of at the 23-inch draw mark on the side, just for a reference. Okay, we got the 1 3/4 here. And we got an 1 3/4 here. Okay. We got what we got. I'm going to look for a string. Okay. Once we put the string on, we'll readjust everything to the string. Okay, I found the string. Let's string it up and see what it looks like. Okay, we can see this limb is bending more than this limb, and we're going to use our tillering marks that we have to see the difference. So we got 7.5 and a 6-inch brace height, and we got 7. So this is bending 1/2 inch more than this one. And let's see the middle mark here. It's 5.5 for the middle mark, and it's 5.5 for the middle mark down here. So what that means is we have to get more bend out of this right here. We got to make up the difference right here. So we're going to come back and see what it looks like. I'm going to take a little bit off right here. Okay, I'm going to mark it just to show you. We got to get a little bit right off here. String on, I work the limbs back and forth to make it even, and need a little bit more bend on this side, just a little bit more. And when I look with the tiller here, I see right here is a flat spot right here. So I need a little bit more from here to make this a little bigger. Right, that's the flat spot from here to here. When I look over here, we got a nice bend even to the end, you see? Okay, so I'm going to take just a little bit off the end there, and then we're going to remeasure it. And I already exercised it, and to be honest, it isn't that heavy, and I exercised it kind of almost to my draw length, all right? So it's working out good. So let me take a little material off of there and get back to you. Okay, I finally have everything evened up beautiful. And like I said, I've been exercising this, pulling it back to my drawer at 26.5 inches. Look, you can go to 28, okay? So we made a nice bow. I'm going to shape the handle, and we're going to go out and back and shoot it, all right? And there's no backing on this, and yes, it's a lightweight bow. But I was looking at some of the natural back Juniper bows that people made, and guys are pulling them back like 15 inches and flicking them out of target and stuff. And this one here, I got this pulling back to my draw length. It actually can go to 28. I don't care how light it is. I'm going to cut a shelf in it. Okay. Looks good. And we're going to shoot this tiny little lightweight bow. I'll be back with a shape that bow. Before I shape the handle, it's a little light. Little lightweight, and that's what I want in a lightweight bow, but it's really lightweight. So it's 66 inches long. So I dropped the string grooves down 1 inch to make it 64, and it still goes back, look, to 28, okay? Or so. I had a 26.5 inch draw. It's going back at least to 27. So that's what I did. I'm going to remove some material, but I wanted to show you I shortened it. Everything's even. Everything's looking good. So I'm going to shape it now at a shorter length and a couple more pounds. Well, it's a pretty little bow. Look at the handle, the riser. Look at the shelf. Beautiful, right? It's a light little bow. Pulls back. Only thing is it has a little string follow. That's okay. I made a bow. Made a bow out of this Juniper Eastern Red Cedar, and we're going to go shoot it. So this is a really light pound bow. Should have like 1,200 spine arrows, but I got 8. Let's see what it pulls back to. I'm betting it's like 10 pounds or something. 20, almost 22 pounds. Look, almost 22 pounds. I think that's pretty cool. 22 pounds, and it probably pulls back to 28. So let's see. We're going to shoot that bear that's like 17 yards there. And let's see how it shoots. And it's a little lighter bow. I'm going to put it like on top of the 10 ring would be on that bear. Oh, right there. Right there. Let me put another one down there. Wow. Pretty good. Let's take a shot at that deer down there that's actually 20 yards. Oh, you gotta take another one. Okay, unbacked Eastern Red Cedar. That was fire hardened the best I could because it kept on smoking and wanting to catch on fire. Alright, has some string follow, but it is very pretty. And it's more pounds than I thought, right? Got a 20-pound bow here. And unlike a lot of them that you see, there's no backing. It's the natural back. I peeled the cambium off, and it looks so pristine and so nice, right? So let's go take a look at these arrows. I'm pretty happy with it. This is the first time I'm shooting this thing, right? First time I'm shooting it. That's like 17 yards or so. And that's not bad either, right? 20 yards. So this is probably the last Juniper Cedar bow I'll make. Eastern Red Cedar bow I'll make. But I'm happy it came out nice. And has a little string follow. Let me show you. See, it has string follow, but that's okay. You see it shoots really nice, right? Crazy nice. And some of this may come back, you know, as it sits in the house, some of it may come back. I'm not going to play with it. I'm not going to fire harden again. It's just a good, fun little bow at 21 pounds, you know. And I'm going to do like some old timers said, I think, just oil it. So I'm probably going to put like, you know, some kind of oil on it. There's all kind of oil finishes. I'll have to look and see what's the best one for this. You know, there's a couple of different choices. So that's it. That's the end of this video. All right. You should go to Shannon Outdoors and check out their fire hardening DVD. You should buy it. It helps you get different whitewoods in your area. And, you know, this thing here is like 2 weeks old. And, you know, the fire hardened, even if it didn't take the set, it took the moisture out, cooked it enough where I made a shootable bow. And, you know, it's about 2 weeks old. Maybe less than 2 weeks this is. So, every day you wake up is a great day. Do something. I don't care what it is. Just get out, do the best you can. Do something every day. Get out and shoot. Right? Make a bow. Thanks for watching.